from Neverland.
Chattanooga police say blood spatters found in a young man's apartment led them to charge him with homicide in the case of missing 22-year-old Jasmine Pace. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield.
And I'm Josh Rowe. The suspect, Jason Chen, is now in the Hamilton County Jail without bond. He was booked this morning at the Williamson County Sheriff's Office where his family has a home.
In the last hour, we obtained Chen's arrest affidavit that says those blood splatters were found in Chen's apartment when police went in with a search warrant. That apartment was the last place police say Pace was seen.
Hannah May has been following this story all day. Today is live outside the loft apartments where Chen lived. Hannah, what else did that arrest report reveal?
Josh, it's an update that Pace's family and friends are at a loss of words for. CPD's affidavit says they believe that Pace was murdered inside Jason Chen's apartment building just right behind me.
He currently is in custody and charges have been taken out for criminal homicide.
22-year-old Jasmine Pace was a missing person until District Attorney Cody Womp says the Chattanooga Police Department surfaced new evidence and an arrest affidavit reveals they found blood splatters and cleaning supplies in Chen's apartment.
The last known location that we have for Jasmine would be at Jason Chen's apartment.
CPD Detective Zachary Crawford says Chen and Pace had a short relationship, and the affidavit says Chen was seen on Walgreens surveillance video buying cleaning supplies. Their investigation determined large amounts of blood had been wiped away in the North Shore apartment. Pace's disappearance has caught the eye of social media as friends continue to post since neither Pace nor her body has been found.
Please stop scrolling and help me find my friend.
Now that Chen is in custody and charged, officials say they need the public's help.
Our main concern is Jasmine and where she is at. We will not stop until we find her. Any information that anybody has on the location, the whereabouts of Jasmine Pace.
Now, according to the affidavit, Chen had cuts on his right hand and his feet, showing that he was in an altercation. Chen is also currently being taken to Hamilton County Jail without bond. Reporting in Hamilton County, I'm Hannah May, News Channel 9.
Hannah, thank you. We have more details from that affidavit on our website, newschannel9.com.
Also tonight, we continue following a story that has gripped our area all week long. Police confirmed yesterday that the body of Jasmine Pace was found near Suck Creek Road. We covered that all afternoon. News Channel 9 Sam Pena has been following the story today. Sam, what have you learned from Jasmine's family and friends?
Yeah, Kim, Josh, social media posts all day continue to remember Jasmine Pace and ask for justice after her body was found near Suck Creek Road and the arrest of Jason Chen. Now, Chen lived in these apartments right here behind me, and we also know that Jasmine was with Chen right before she disappeared. In addition to that, this was her last known location as she sent a ping to her mother over text just a few days before Thanksgiving. The sweetest soul with the sweetest voice. That's how her family says they want Jasmine Pace to be remembered. Dozens of friends of family memorializing the 22-year-old whose body police found Thursday afternoon on Suck Creek. Described as the happiest girl you could meet, a beautiful woman, and an angel, the family now seeks justice after the arrest of UTC student Jason Chen. Police arrested and charged Chen with criminal homicide. One family member publicly called Chen calculated and accused him of using Jasmine's phone to send messages, pretending she was still alive and leaving town.
Charges have been taken out for criminal homicide in the county of Hamilton. The state of Tennessee is pursuing first-degree murder charges based on the evidence that we have at this time.
With Chen now in jail, we asked the DA's office if they plan to upgrade the charges, now that they have Jasmine's body. In this affidavit, police say Jasmine's last known location was inside Chen's apartment, where they believe a violent altercation occurred, and police found bloodstains and broken glass. And we have yet to hear back from the DA's office on whether or not they plan to upgrade those charges. We do know that Chen's bond hearing is set for December 6th, and several family members have taken to social media asking people to show up in support of Jasmine and to urge the judge to continue his no bond order for Chen. Reporting live in Chattanooga, I'm Sam Pena, News Channel 9.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. We have Jason Chen's arrest affidavit on our website, newschannel9.com, and we will also be in court covering Chen's trial next week. Her life ended tragically, but tonight, friends and family of Jasmine Pace celebrated the life she shared with them. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield. They gathered on a dark and rainy night at Coolidge Park, determined to honor the life of their 22-year-old friend, whose remains were found last week after her disappearance that started before Thanksgiving. Jason Chen now is in jail in Hamilton County without bond, an arraignment hearing for him tomorrow on charges in her murder. News Channel 9's Leslie Dominique spoke to people who knew her at a very somber ceremony tonight.
It's pouring rain in Coolidge Park, but loved ones of Jasmine Pace say whether it was rain or shine, they were going to be honoring her tonight.
If a light is extinguished, and how do you keep the world a lit place? How do you keep it bright and beautiful?
As rain pours down in Coolidge Park, candlelights flutter under the Market Street Bridge. Loved ones of Jasmine Pace share sweet memories of the woman who they say was a light.
She was a wonderful person, a wonderful friend, and her soul is just forever with God.
Childhood friends of Pace say they will never forget her voice.
She did love to sing. She's always loved to sing.
It's a voice that hundreds have already heard. Pace's mother shared this video of her daughter singing. The post reads, "Sometimes you watch your kids, even the grown ones, do something so little but so sweet, and it melts your heart." Loved ones say Jasmine's story has created a platform for other domestic violence and missing cases to be heard.
Because Jazzy blew up so much, there's been pages that shared her info that other people have just shared. So all these other children and stuff that are missing and that are hurting are getting a lot more attention and getting the community behind them.
At Coolidge Park, a Chattanooga community stands with the Pace family. Now a story that has reached national and even international airwaves leaves a legacy of Jasmine Pace. A light that will never dim.
Even if she's gone, her light continues through us to finish her job, to keep making it a bright place. May the family still be a bright place.
In Chattanooga, Leslie Dominique reporting.
And Jason Chen is scheduled to have his first court hearing tomorrow morning at 8:30. We will have a crew in the courtroom and bring you coverage here on air, online, and our News Channel 9 social pages. Chen is charged with criminal homicide.
Light is extinguished, and how do you keep the world a lit place? How do you keep it bright and beautiful?
Family and friends of Jasmine Pace searched for justice after police charged Jason Chen with killing. After a vigil last night, Chen appeared in court today in front of some of those close to Jasmine. You can see her mother staring at the accused killer.
And her mother trembled as the man sat on the other side of the courtroom. News Channel 9's Jordan Karnback has some of the highlights about what happened there today.
It's been less than a week since police discovered 22-year-old Jasmine Pace's body. Now, the man that police say she had been seeing for several months faced a judge for the first time.
Silence filled the courtroom when Jason Chen walked in. as family and friends of Jasmine Pace, the 22-year-old he is accused of murdering, watched from the gallery. Jasmine's mother, Katrina, stood and stared Chen down. You can see her hands are shaking.
State's here on the case of State versus Jason Chen.
Jasmine's cousin wrote to us saying the Pace family has, quote, had enough and will not settle till we simply get justice once and for all. Chen went before a judge to set his bond for a criminal homicide charge he faces. But Chen's attorney asked the judge for more time.
That at the request of the defendant, we'll ask for a bond hearing on Friday.
Hamilton County District Attorney Cody Womp says they are pursuing first-degree murder charges for Chen. Jonathan Turner is a defense attorney in Chattanooga and says there is a significant difference between the upgraded charge Chen may face, including having to prove premeditation.
There's various ways you can prove premeditation. I believe the courts have ruled that it can be formed in an instant. So there doesn't have to be a lot of pre-thought, but there has to be some type of planning or some type of thought and intention to kill. So before you do the killing, you had to have at least had some reflection, some thought that what you were doing, and then you still chose to go through with the killing.
Chen is set to appear in court again on December 9th at 12 p.m. Reporting in Chattanooga, I'm Jordan Karnback, News Channel 9.
Now, that court appearance came one day after family and friends held this candlelight vigil for Jasmine in Coolidge Park. People gathered just under the Market Street Bridge to honor her and share memories. Family and friends described Jasmine as an angel.
She was a wonderful person, a wonderful friend, and her soul is just forever with God.
May the family still be a bright place.
Jasmine Pace was 22 years old. A celebration of life is scheduled for 3 p.m. this Thursday at Calvary Baptist Church in Red Bank.
Family and family members gathered to honor and remember 22-year-old Jasmine Pace. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield. She was laid to rest after service at a church in Red Bank earlier today, just days after her tragic death. News Channel 9's Leslie Dominique was at the celebration of life.
It has been 1 week since Jasmine Pace's body was found, and now a mourning family is seeking comfort amidst the chaos. In a celebration of life, those who knew her the best remembered her as a kind soul and a friend to all.
She was a safe space for me, as I'm sure she was for all you guys. She made everyone feel like no matter the bad or the good, she'd never judge you or make you feel any less.
A bouquet of flowers, pink, purple, and white, sat in the center of this sanctuary. Underneath it, a beautiful white coffin. Inside, a woman, Jasmine Pace, whose friendly face is terribly missed.
I will forever remember her bright, twinkling brown eyes, her gracious smile, and her sweet spirit, full of love and laughter.
Loved ones filled the pews of Calvary Baptist Church in Red Bank, full of emotion, trying to hold it together. A community gathered for a celebration of life as they tried their hardest to not focus on the tragedy. It's a story that struck the nation. In November, 22-year-old Jasmine Pace was reported missing by her mother, and less than 1 week later, her body was found. Police say at the hands of her boyfriend, Jason Chen.
I can't tell you the answer to why. You can't Google this and get the answer to why this happened.
A family who's underwent a week of searching, courtrooms, a vigil, and a constant reminder of the biggest loss, now must ultimately lay her to rest. But Jasmine's story and her fight will not go forgotten, not for her family, friends, or the Red Bank community that loves her.
May her sweet, fierce, fiery, and loyal spirit live in each and every one of us. It's not goodbye. Only see you later. And until I see you again, I will love you forever.
In Red Bank, Leslie Dominique reporting.
And authorities found Pace's body along Suck Creek Road last week after an extensive search. A vigil was held in Chattanooga in Jasmine's honor 3 days ago. This is video of Jasmine Pace's family reacting to her accused killer, Jason Chen, having his bond set in court today. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield. We also learned in testimony from a CPD homicide investigator and a medical examiner disturbing details about what may have led up to her death. Investigators say cell phone records led them to Suck Creek Road, which is where Pace's remains were found in a suitcase. The medical examiner testified there were several stab wounds on Pace's body as well. Jordan Karnbach was in court today and she joins us now live with that. Jordan, what other details did you learn during testimony today?
Kim, a tragic ending to a search for Jasmine Pace led us here at the Hamilton County Courthouse where Jason Chen faced his bond hearing. Friends of Pace wrote on social media that no matter how hard it was to be in court today, what happened today was a win for Jasmine.
You've got last known location, you have a large amount of blood, you have locations where the body's dumped that are connected to this man, you have a body that is packaged like something from Amazon.
Disturbing testimony left friends and family of 22-year-old Jasmine Pace with tears in their eyes as Jason Chen, the accused murderer of Jasmine Pace, faced his bond hearing.
Did you identify a suspect in the disappearance of Jasmine Pace?
I did.
Who was that?
Jason Chen.
Zach Crawford is the lead detective investigating Pace's murder. He says Jasmine's last known location led investigators to Chen's North Shore apartment. Crawford says blood transfers and DNA evidence pinned Pace as Chen's victim.
We could tell due to the condition of the blood at the time that it was apparent that some sort of cleanup had happened at that location.
Was it the police department's opinion that this crime that had been committed was survivable?
No.
Testimony revealed they used Chen's cell phone location to not only track him down at his parents' home in Nolensville, but also find Jasmine's body.
The decedent is a young woman who is in that suitcase in basically a fetal position. There were two sets of shackle or handcuff devices. Both of them went from her ankles to her right wrist and upper arm.
Dr. Stephen Cogswell is the Deputy Chief Medical Examiner for Hamilton County. He says Pace was wrapped in trash bags and stuffed inside a rolling suitcase, caught up in kudzu.
There's a total of 60, that is 60, sharp force injuries, both stab wounds and cuts or incised wounds.
Some of those wounds, Cogswell testified, showed Jasmine fought back.
Are wounds that are inflicted on the hands or arms when someone is trying to ward off a knife or a blow from something.
Dozens of Pace's family and friends shocked when the judge announced he was granting Chen bond at $5 million.
I will set his bond at $5 million. In addition to that, if he does make bond, he'll be on house arrest with geographical restrictions, and he will have to forfeit his passport.
The next time Chen will be in court is on February 16th for his preliminary hearing. Reporting in Chattanooga, I'm Jordan Karnbach, News Channel 9.
All right, Jordan, thank you. In addition to the new details we learned during testimony from investigators, we also learned more about Chen. Latricia Thomas has more on testimony from Chen's mother. Latricia.
Kim, the court hearing today gave us a deeper look into suspect Jason Chen and who he is, his connection to this community. His defense asked Jason Chen's mother through a translator if he has any mental health conditions.
He doesn't have mental problems. He's normal.
Now that's Jason Chen's mother speaking through a translator. She testified that Jason was set to graduate next May from UTC with a degree in computers. He worked part-time jobs, one at a clothing store. The DA's office tried to establish that Chen was a flight risk since he has family in China and his parents live in Nashville.
Because he's telling me he's very scared here, and I promise I'll take him, my husband and I will take him to court every time.
Now, a CPD homicide detective testified that Chen's cell phone records indicate he went to the Nashville airport sometime between when Jasmine died and when police arrested him. Chen's mother says a family friend of Jasmine Pace showed up at their door asking to speak to Jason about Pace's disappearance. His mother says she called her son, who told her he didn't know anything about it. Kim.
Patricia, thank you. Chen's mother also testified her son said that he didn't know anything about Jasmine being missing.
County District Attorney Cody Wamp with strong words at Jason Chen's bond hearing Friday.
There is no criminal that deserves a higher bond than Mr. Chen.
Length of residence, employment status, and financial history are just a few things Attorney Jonathan Turner says the court has to weigh when making a decision to set a bond.
Statute TCA 4011-118 essentially tells the judge or the magistrate, whoever's setting the bond, to weigh two things: to weigh the defendant's likely appearance in court, and then also to weigh the potential danger to the community.
A judge granted Jason Chen, the person accused in Jasmine Pace's death, bond at $5 million at a hearing Friday, one that would require house arrest with geographical restrictions and a forfeit of his passport.
I will set his bond at $5 million. In addition to that, if he does make bond, he'll be on house arrest with geographical restrictions, and he will have to forfeit his passport.
It's certainly a high bond. It's one of the highest ones I've ever seen. Most offenses in Tennessee are bailable offenses, meaning you have to get a bond set. The only real exception is a capital case, meaning a murder case that the state has asked for the death penalty.
But Turner says only a percentage of the bond needs to be paid.
If your bond is $5 million, in this case, 10% would be the standard amount due. So in that case, we'd be talking $500,000. It would be very unlikely that a bonding company would be willing to make a bond that high because it puts their company on risk.
As gruesome details were uncovered in court about how Jasmine was killed, District Attorney Cody Wamp made it clear that no bond was high enough in the opinion of the state.
Any restriction that can be placed on this individual, the entire state, the entire country, maybe even China, is better off.
Now, the next time Chen will appear in court is for a preliminary hearing February 16th at 9 a.m. Haley?
Jordan, thank you. You can catch all the updates from this case on air and on our website, NewsChannel9.com.
New info revealed at Jason Chen's preliminary hearing today. Chen charged with killing Jasmine Pace back in November.
Today, we learned about what police say Chen did shortly after the last time Jasmine was seen. Here's a timeline of what we learned from investigators today in court. November 22nd is the last day Katrina Pace, Jasmine's mother, says she saw her daughter. Investigators say that night Jasmine's car was at Chen's Tremont Street apartment.
Early the next morning around 2 a.m., Jasmine sends her mother a text with her location. That's the last known communication from Jasmine. Investigators say later that morning, Chen heads to Walmart and Walgreens, that is, for purchases like bandages and towels and peroxide.
Now, then on the night of that same day, Jasmine's car was found near Mountain Creek Road, which is not too far from Suck Creek Road, where police say Jasmine's body was found on December 1st. News Channel 9's Sam Pena has more on what investigators testified about in court.
3 months after being arrested for the murder of Jasmine Pace, Jason Chen is now set to face a grand jury. This after new evidence and pictures from inside of Chen's apartment paint a picture of the night police say Jasmine Pace was killed.
Would this represent blood evidence in Mr. Chen's apartment?
At first glance, it's a clean apartment, but a closer look reveals a disturbing story.
Specifically in that corner is going to be visible blood that is in the grout of the tiles.
Homicide investigator Zach Crawford says these photos were taken inside the apartment of Jason Chen, where police believe Jasmine Pace was killed.
I've never seen the amount of Blue Star reagent that I have until this case.
Crawford says detectives used the chemical Blue Star, which glows to reveal blood. He says DNA testing showed over a liter of blood on the bathroom, bedroom, and kitchen floor in Chen's apartment, all belonging to Jasmine Pace.
If this blood matter belonged to one individual, would it likely be survivable?
No.
Prosecutors then showed this picture, which police say shows Chen at a Signal Mountain Walmart, buying towels, bandages, and peroxide but ringing them up as...
He then logs them as asparagus.
Investigators also walked through Chen's cell phone data, which they say tracked him to a stop on Suck Creek Road, where police found a suitcase.
What was in that bag?
Jasmine Pace.
Defense questioning revealed that Jasmine's mother, Katrina, made her way into Chen's apartment on the 27th and took several of Jasmine's items and Chen's banking records.
We heard about those documents and those things that were collected by the family. We then went and recovered those items.
From where?
From her residence, Katrina Pace's residence.
Chen's attorney attempted to argue that Katrina contaminated and tampered with evidence at the scene.
Defense calls Katrina Pace.
But the judge denied their request to question her.
We will not hear from the witness.
Saying he'd seen enough to send Chen before a grand jury.
The proof speaks for itself, Your Honor.
In Chattanooga reporting, I'm Sam Pena, News Channel 9.
We have the full timeline of events leading up to Jason Chen's arrest and the search for Jasmine Pace on our website, newschannel9.com.
I remember them telling us, do not enter. I don't know if they said again, but they told us, do not enter and to leave.
But you decided to disregard what they told you.
Yes, I wanted to find my daughter.
A Chattanooga mother says she took evidence from the scene where police say her daughter died.
That mother also says she disobeyed officers' orders in the process. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Josh Rowe.
And I'm Kim Chapman Whitfield. This involves the murder of Jasmine Pace in Chattanooga now more than 1 year ago. Investigators say they found her blood throughout Jason Chen's apartment, and they say Chen later stuffed the victim's body in a suitcase and left it on Suck Creek Road.
But today, Chen's lawyers called for the court to suppress evidence that Pace's mother, Katrina, took from the scene. Today, we learned how much she took and why she did it. News Channel 9's Mary Beth Mangrum joins us now from the courthouse. Mary Beth, take us through what Katrina Pace said today in court.
Josh, Kim, today it became very clear that the hearing centered on the evidence and that Jasmine Pace's mother wanted to let us know how far she was willing to go to find her daughter.
It seemed to you that they were not concerned about where your daughter was?
Katrina Pace says she did everything she could in 2022 to try and find her daughter Jasmine when she felt like police officers weren't doing enough. But the defense says some evidence shouldn't be allowed in Jason Chen's trial because of who was in and out of his apartment.
It's normal for you to break into other people's apartments?
No.
And it's not normal for you to conduct a search like this?
It's not normal for my daughter to be missing.
Pace's mother admitted to going inside Chen's apartment 3 times after using the My Chevy app to try and find her car.
It was your own volition to go into the apartment yourself all 3 times?
Yes, it was my desperate desire to find my daughter. And however, whatever I had to do to find her, I needed to do.
Pace's mother testified what she took out of Chen's apartment.
Was phones, tablets, so I could take them home to see if one we turned on and was my daughter's. Took its notebooks to see if maybe he had wrote a note. Anything that I thought could be to help someone find her.
The defense asked several family members about a knife found on Chen's bed that his attorney claims was not present in prior body camera footage.
Did you leave a knife on the bed?
No.
Travis Pace, Jasmine's biological father, says he did move his daughter's ID on the counter when he found it inside Chen's apartment.
Why did you need them to see that?
So that they could connect that she at least is somehow involved in this apartment. If she's a missing person, there's one bit closer to finding out where she may be next.
Pace's family say their only motive was to find Jasmine.
You needed to help them do their investigation.
I know, I need to find my daughter.
Katrina Pace says there are certain things she doesn't remember about the time she spent looking for Jasmine and entering Jason Chen's apartment. She says that this is because she, quote, spent a year and a half trying to forget. In Chattanooga, I'm Mary Beth Mangrum, News Channel 9.
Mary Beth, thank you very much. The court did not decide on any motions today. They will review the police investigation at Chen's apartment in March. Right now, though, Chen is scheduled to stand trial in June, but that date could change. Members of law enforcement take the stand in a Chattanooga murder case.
Defense attorneys want the court to suppress pieces of evidence. This comes after the victim's family admitted to taking items from the crime scene. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Josh Rowe.
And I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield. This involves Jason Chen. Prosecutors say he killed Jasmine Pace, put her body in a suitcase, and left it on Suck Creek Road. Well, today, court appearance continues as a previous hearing from last month.
In the first hearing, Pace's mother, Katrina, admitted to going inside Chen's apartment several times. She also said she took phones, a tablet, a notebook, and other items from the scene, going against advice from police.
It's normal for you to break into other people's apartments?
No.
And it's not normal for you to conduct a search like this?
It's not normal for my daughter to be missing.
Katrina Pace went on to say she was frustrated with how police were handling this case. Today, some of those officers testified in court.
News Channel 9's Jordan Carnback breaks down their testimony and what their body cam footage reveals.
Today is a continuation of a hearing against Jason Chen, who was charged with first-degree murder and abuse of a corpse in the death of Jasmine Pace. The focus shifted on the Chattanooga police and the searches of Chen's apartment.
Yes, that's him.
Today, attorneys played body camera footage from November of 2022 when Jasmine Pace's mother reported her daughter missing.
He just lied, said that he hadn't talked to her. He talked to her for a few minutes Monday when she was with me at the bank. He talked to her for 71 minutes.
It revealed Katrina Pace had a phone conversation with Jason Chen while she was trying to figure out what happened to Jasmine.
He talked to her for 71 minutes late afternoon. He would remember that, and when he was in the hospital dying,
It's like trying to see
he talked to her for over an hour, and he just lied.
That footage shows Katrina Pace telling officers she got a notification that her daughter was going to South Carolina with her friend Emma. But she later found out that was not true. Pace also told Chattanooga police officer Mackenzie Pierre someone was resetting her daughter's passwords on her phone.
Did you ever go down there after you made contact with the family?
No.
Jason Chen's neighbors told officers they heard concerning screaming coming from Chen's apartment.
It was a knuckle on the not more yelling.
Katrina Pace said then that she was frustrated about how law enforcement was handling the case. So much so that she and her husband entered Chen's apartment several times and took items from the scene.
We had to make sure that no one was still inside the apartment.
Chattanooga police officer Trevor Creighton testified that's what Katrina Pace and her husband did.
It had been explained to us that the family had made entry into this apartment before police arrived on scene.
In Chattanooga, Jordan Carnback, News Channel 9.
Officers say they suggested action that the family could take within the legal limits, like hiring a private investigator. A hearing on the motion to suppress evidence will continue in May. A judge also pushed Jason Chen's trial back to September. It was initially slated to begin in June.
Thank you. There was another hearing over evidence in the case of Jasmine Pace's murder today.
Yeah, the defense attorney for Jason Chen had filed another motion to suppress evidence in the case, similar to another motion in August. In that motion, the defense wanted some evidence thrown out because of what they said were illegal searches of Chen's apartment.
At that hearing, the judge decided that the evidence did not satisfy legal requirements for suppression. News Channel 9's Maggie Weaver was at the courthouse today, and she has more on what Chen's attorney was trying to argue this time. Maggie.
Josh, Kim, I was in the courtroom for hours today as Jason Chen's attorney made his case in Hamilton County Criminal Court. And that's as they pushed to suppress that evidence found in Jasmine Pace's murder case. Now, we told you previously how Jasmine Pace's mother had entered Chen's apartment to search for her daughter who went missing back in November of 2022. Chen's attorney argues that because that search was, quote, tainted, almost all the evidence that was gathered after that should be, quote, void. Now, this is the third hearing in this case just detailing the request to suppress that evidence. In July, a judge denied a portion of that request, and then today they continued making their case and questioned witnesses. Chen's attorney says that search warrants that were taken out based on the mother's questionable searches, and he says that that evidence led them to track Chen's location.
Did you rely on the defendant's cell phone records, I guess?
No, his actual monitors didn't even have him going there. At first first. I don't know if it's due to turning the phone airplane mode or potentially just not receiving any type of data or phone calls at the time. Ultimately, the victim's phone led us to Walmart.
Judge Patterson described this motion today as, quote, complex, and said that each hearing is taking the defense's request step by step. Ultimately, he denied the motion to suppress that evidence. Now, tonight at 6, I'll have more on the specific evidence that Chen's attorney wanted to suppress and why, as well as how those witnesses responded. Josh.
Maggie, thank you. Jason Chen's trial is set to begin in January of next year.
Is set to start in less than 2 weeks for a man accused in Chattanooga, a Chattanooga woman's death.
The case surrounding Jasmine Pace and the suspect Jason Chen caught national attention. Police investigators say Pace's remains were found in a suitcase and left along Suck Creek Road. They also say they found her blood throughout Jason Chen's apartment. Police also report witnesses saying they heard screaming coming from his apartment. Today, we saw more evidence that could end up being used in that trial.
News Channel 9's Lily Butler has more on what was shown in court today. Lily.
Kim, Josh, today was the final hearing before Jason Chen's trial. Prosecutors and Chen's defense team reviewed evidence, debating whether it should be used in the trial. That evidence includes notes Chen wrote that detailed a timeline of his interactions with Jasmine Pace and preparations for legal action. We also saw body camera footage of the night Chen was taken into custody at his mother's home in Williamson County. Chen can be heard talking with police when they arrived at the home. Prosecutors pointed out Chen's calm demeanor and this quote as to why they want to use this during his trial.
So you said there was a search warrant from me, correct? Yeah, it's for a search warrant for your person, so we're, Nashville Police Department, we're going to be detaining you in compliance with that search warrant. We're assisting Chattanooga. Okay. And is there any like probable cause or anything? They'll explain that. They're going to explain it to you.
The defense argued that jurors could form unfair prejudice or assumptions from the video. They noted Chen had not been read his rights at the moment the video was captured. They also added he was speaking to his mother in Mandarin without a translator present. Judge Patterson asked the state to develop a 30-second clip from the video, then he will rule if it can be allowed during the trial. Jury selection for Chen's trial will take place in Nashville next week. The trial is slated to begin on January 13th.
Lily, thank you. Judge Patterson ruled Chen's notes could be used with certain redactions. He also reviewed medical examiner photos ahead of their use in the trial. We have full coverage of the case at NewsChannel9.com. Less than a week away from the murder trial of Jason Chen. Chen is from Chattanooga and faces charges in connection to the death of Jasmine Pace. We've been bringing you updates on the story since 2022, and tomorrow we know jury selection begins in Nashville for the trial in Hamilton County. Last week, we told you about one of the last hearings before Chen's trial. News Channel 9's Mary Beth Mangrum joins us now in studio to tell us more. Mary Beth.
Kim, Jason Chen's trial was initially planned for June of 2024, but after being moved several times, that trial will now begin on Monday. And while that trial will be held within Hamilton County, the jury will not be from here. Judge Boyd Patterson discussed how this jury selection process will go during Thursday's hearing. Judge Patterson specified that the members of the jury will be coming from Nashville, and that selection will begin tomorrow morning. That jury will be selected from within Davidson County, with potential for that selection process to continue into Thursday.
Depending on how the questionnaire discussion goes, that will determine what happens on Wednesday. But at some point, we'll start picking the jury, actually engaging them in conversation. Hopefully have that finished up by Thursday. They'll be met Sunday in Nashville with our deputies. We'll then take them down to the hotel here. They'll be checked in, accommodated, brought to court Monday, and that's when we'll be sworn in. Will not be sworn in Nashville.
While that trial is slated to begin on Monday, we'll be in Nashville tomorrow covering that jury selection, and we'll have more updates on that process as it begins. Kim?
Mary Beth, thank you very much. We'll have team coverage of the Chen trial beginning tomorrow in Nashville with Mary Beth Mangrum, who will be in the courtroom. Then next week, Meg Doyle joins our coverage in Hamilton County. And can you watch the trial live streamed on our website with recaps from News Channel 9's Latricia Thomas and our Stream Center on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.